They traded while the market was supposedly shut, right?
Post. Okay, so listen,
That
what you
that
just said, 36,000 contracts for the entire day. That's the
yeah, yeah,
volume, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
31,000 of that was what changed hands when the exchange was closed.
How many? Sorry.
31,000.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
800, I mean, like if you talk about shenanigans, look at that.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at that. People come to me and they say it's business as usual and nothing is wrong. Come on.
yeah. I mean,
I
there you
mean,
go.
like
36,000 total volume
exactly total, and 31,828 of that
when the
change
market
hands
shut.
when the market shuts. Okay, so
Wow.
listen. So my original statement is probably correct. Like I said, they came out and they tried to close as many contracts as possible, right? That's why the OI dropped drastically for March, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So they tried that, and whatever, leverage longs that are in out there, who wanted to settle, did it. Okay.
yeah,
And then the remaining, like you said, who want to have the physical deliveries, right? They
yeah,
looked at the inventory and they said, "Oh my God, we just don't want to let go." Like I'm not going to sit there and say that they don't have the metal because they probably have, right?
yeah, yeah,
But I'm going to tell you this: whatever happened, it probably meant that they don't want to let go of a minimal amount of metal
yeah,
that is at the eligible and the registered. Does that sound fair? Because I say that, and the experts like Robert Gottlieb won't yell at me, okay?
yeah.
Because
I know.
I acknowledge that, okay? I understand that. But like,
Yeah,
there's probably a level that me and you and everybody else don't know that they don't want to go below,
yeah.
correct? Fair
And
enough?
Eric,
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about Robert Gottlieb, uh,
yes.
I think it was probably early yesterday morning or the night before. He posted on LinkedIn that, all the people who were worried about delivery problems, they've been proven wrong because the open interest went down. But that was before the market shut yesterday. I wonder what
Yeah,
you're going to say about that. If there wasn't any problem, why do they have to shut the market? Uh,
it's funny.
yeah,
It's funny. I'm going to say this, Mario. If I'm blind and I can't read, then I believe Robert Gottlieb.
yeah,
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not blind and I can actually read.
yeah,
So I mean, we're just gonna look at the numbers, right?
yeah, yeah,
31,828 contracts change hands
yeah.
when that episode happened, when they closed the exchange down for 90 days, 90 minutes, sorry, for
Yeah.
90 minutes.
According to Eric Jung and Maneco, COMEX shut down silver trading for 90 minutes on February 26, 2026, to secretly settle contracts off exchange and prevent physical silver from leaving their vaults. They believe this confirms long-running market manipulation and that $80 to $90 silver won't solve the deepening global physical silver shortage. Thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to Fine Metals for the latest insights.
People ask me, I'm just going to go to the next point here. So people ask me, what will happen next? Now that they did this, what's going to happen next with silver? I'm going to paint a scenario for your viewers, okay? Like I'm talking about the COMEX situation. So let's say, like the situation that happened yesterday, where they closed the exchange and they did the shenanigans, the off-exchange deals, offering the premium to cash settle. My analysis on that, or my interpretation of what's actually happening is that they only did it probably for friendly concentrated shorts at the COMEX. So not just anybody, but like probably people they like or people that they have to help assist. Okay, so they closed the exchange for those guys and close those short positions. Okay. However, going forwards, okay, most likely, this is just this is just my understanding of the situation based on what I'm seeing and what I saw the last time they did it. If you remember, right? Like in the middle of winter, they put a plug saying that their servers overheated. Okay. So, just based on my understanding. So, I think um, the whoever is short at this point, I mean, the open interest is like I said, for March is half of what it was 2 days ago. So they already substantially cut it, right? But whoever is still out there shorting, and if the powers that be don't want the physical silver to leave the vaults, okay, and there are additional people standing for physical delivery. Now, these are all assumptions that I have. Okay, if all that is true, I think the the people who are short, okay, those guys will probably most likely have to directly cover the short positions on the COMEX. So they are not going to have the privilege like the other guys. Like what happened? What happened? Okay, which is
Yeah,
essentially OTC plus a premium. They
yeah.
closed. So I think I don't know if you remember when after they plugged put the plug back in the middle of winter for that situation, silver dipped a bit, just like what is happening now, and then it shot up to $70.
Is there more to what COMEX is up to?
Okay, well, like I'm going to cut to the chase, right? First, if you look at the Mario, I sent you that screenshot of the CME Group's daily numbers, and you can see the one from yesterday for the March contract. So basically, if you look at the March contract, they managed to close 11,000 contracts, and there are only 10,526 contracts open interest that are outstanding. So I think what happened yesterday is that they try to close as many contracts as possible. See if there's anybody or how many people are willing to do cash settlements. They did the best, closed out all those people who are willing to do cash settlements, and then they looked at the vault inventories at the eligible and registered, and they probably figured that there's not enough free float or physical silver, or at least not enough that they want to let go for settlement. Okay, so I think that's what happened, and it was critical enough that they had to shut down the exchange for 90 minutes,
Yeah,
which is exactly what happened. Yeah.
yeah. Why? I guess they would shut it down because they wanted to probably stop people from like taking delivery, not taking delivery, but accept. They wanted to talk to them to accept the cash settlement, right? Because I would say there was probably a lot of people also, Eric, and I've got this here because I worked as a futures and options broker for many years, not in precious metals, but I know what goes on. And we've got here the March contract, which is not the front month, of course. The front month is now May, so it traded a lot more, 68,000. But what I notice here is the volume yesterday was 36,000 for March. And, they got 11,000 positions to close out the open interest. So it means that 25,000 other trades were like probably people going long to take delivery, tomorrow, I would say, because it's not normal to have 36,000 volume. What I would expect the volume to be here would have been 11,000 here, total volume for March. Even though it's very frustrating for us silver stackers and sound money people, I noticed like that COMEX was kind of was rigged back in 2002 because at the time I was working as a futures and options broker. in the government bond market and interest rate markets. And I'd been working for about 10 years when I started watching gold and silver futures. And to me, it was really weird. And Eric, that I'm a person who asks questions when I see something that doesn't look right. And I noticed that at a certain time every day in London, gold and silver would drop always. And then I asked myself, why is that happening? And I found out that the regular hour opening for gold and silver was around 1:20, 1:30 London time, right? So, and then I realized that after around 3 o'clock as well, gold and silver would drop massively. And I looked into it and I found out that that's when, after the PM fixing for gold in London, so the LBMA physical market was shut, so they could come in and just smack the futures price, right? And yesterday was the same kind of thing, same modus operandi. It started around 6 o'clock London. Everyone in Europe and Asia had gone, and that's when they stopped the trading on COMEX. And I wouldn't put it past institutions to have been buying, like I said earlier, buying the March outright, so they could stand for delivery very soon, and they couldn't have that, like you said, and they or even they even like you said. They realized that a lot of the longs were not going to roll over, so they pulled the plug and called the clients and said, will you take, a 10% or a 12%, premium to cash settle? So I think that's what's happened. And I said, I'm rambling a little bit, but I said that we shouldn't be frustrated. And why? Well, because Eric, I think we've had 40, 50 years of this in the precious metals market in the West. And that's why I think there's a shortage in silver. I think there could be a lot of tightness in gold, and that's why the price is going to explode. And I think the other thing they've done is they destroyed the London market and the New York market, because as you see here, SD Bullion is charging the same price that Shanghai is charging for its silver.
Listen, this whole fiasco is not the first time. Like, it's the second time within 3 months. It's
Yeah, and
becoming a Mickey Mouse situation. It's a
yeah,
Mickey Mouse circus.
yeah,
That's what this is.
it also
Yeah,
happened in London, didn't it? LBMA, I think early last year
yeah.
they
And
shot the
that was
market.
a clown show right there, right? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
look, remember what TD said and Rob got it? They said, oh, the LBMA had like 5,000 metric tons of silver back. Like, that was back middle of September, right? They
yeah,
said that. And then 2 weeks after, I keep saying this, nobody challenged me because it's true, right?
yeah,
And then two and a half, 3 weeks after, Goddard came out and said, hey guys, they're down to zero.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
I mean, like, when they
Mm,
told me that there's like 5,000 metric tons, I'm serious. I said on my X, I
mm.
said, hey, based on what these guys are telling me, I think there's like a 5 month to 6 month runway.
Yeah, yeah,
I said that, but like, I obviously, gave them too much credit,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, because they can just go to
yeah,
zero
yeah.
within like two, which is essentially telling me and you that they never had 5,000 metric tons of free float in the first place, right?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
you can't, I mean, just anyway. Yeah. Sorry.
So, Eric, don't want to keep you too long. So, any final words um, for the viewers about these markets? And I think I have a pretty good idea of what you're going to say anyway, but
Well, I'm just going to say this, right? People tell me Jane Street is like long, I think Zero Hedge said it, long SLV. So we got to be careful because they're doing the long SLV short COMEX trade. Now they're guessing the COMEX part, right? But they like he's basically explaining the EFP basis trade that I talk a lot about. You long the quotation marks physical and you short the futures. So he's saying that that's the danger of like Jane Street dumping more short positions on the COMEX. Now, First of all, the numbers that he's citing is from 2 months ago. So that may already have happened, like the dumping,
Yeah.
which is what we saw, right?
Yeah.
Second, I'm going to put my bankster hat on. It's like when you have the basis trade going, it doesn't mean that you are necessarily pushing it. You're trying to dump everything, right? Okay. Although, of course, if they are agents for some sort of deep state, etc., they might have that prerogative to do that. I understand that. But for regular people like me, you, everybody else stacking, I think, given the global situation, look at Mexico, right? Look at the chaos there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Iran. Look at China. Like you said, the SGE is being drained right now. I think below 800 metric tons right now at both the Shanghai Gold Exchange and Shanghai Futures Exchange, physical silver vaults. So given all of this information, okay, excluding the LBMA, because I don't trust the numbers, right? I explained that. So given the global silver inventory, lack of 999 physical silver situation, I don't think $80, $90 silver is going to cut it. It's not going to solve the refined silver shortage problem that we have today.